he got that good too. Yeah. He got that good stuff.
What you guys should do? Stand behind us, stand on side, stand in front.
Do both. All
I'll
of
send
them.
you all, yeah. Girl, it's a photo shoot.
It's your
Woo!
Oh, I'm supposed to be looking at you.
You gotta look at her camera.
Ready? Oh, that's so fucking cute.
Dang, that is nice. Damn.
Now sit on it.
Got it. Whoa.
Yes.
She don't know how to act now.
You are so photogenic.
Yeah.
You really are.
Yeah.
I look like a fool whenever I try to do stuff.
Look at there.
That is a nice part.
It is. It's nice. It's lit. I love the denim pattern. It is, yeah, for that black. It's mean looking, you know. Two of y'all together, so. Look, I come in every day.
You both of them?
Yeah, he was last one technically. All right, y'all, how y'all want to be?
How you want to do it?
All right, guys. We are back. I don't have my mic this time, but this is Courtney's bike. I think this is the Iron 883. And I'm driving this home from Jackson, Tennessee to Memphis, Tennessee. So, never driven the 883. So this will be my first time. I'm going to test this out first.
So basically I had some issues trying to start up this bike. This is the Iron 883 2019. First of all, it was hard to get it in neutral or first gear. I don't know what it is about these Harleys. Trying to get it in first gear or neutral.
Okay, let's see here.
So I'm making sure
Why
that
is it
my
not starting?
engine start light is not turned on or off, pretty much, to cut the engine off. I'm trying to get my bike in neutral, thinking that maybe it's in like third or fourth gear, and I'm trying to click down, and it just seems like the gears aren't going anywhere. So I don't know, maybe it's something I'm just not aware of. But I'm checking to make sure it's on.
This is off.
Like, I'm trying to go through all my steps here to make sure I'm not losing my mind. So I'm pretty much just trying to figure it out. Like, I'm trying to click up, it's not going in neutral. I'm trying to click down to find neutral. I'm pulling in the clutch, shifting the gears, trying to rock the bike back and forward a little bit to see if it works. Move. I mean, it's in first, so I'm thinking like if the bike is in first, you can still crank it up. So I'm kind of lost right here. Starting to get a little frustrated because maybe it's something, I'm thinking it's something that maybe I don't know. And at this point, I'm really just trying to see, am I like really losing my mind? Is it the excitement that I'm going through right now to where I can't figure this out, how to start the freaking bike? I've started bikes in the riders of course plenty of times, And for some reason, this bike don't want to seem like it seems like it don't want to start here or get into neutral. And so, you know, I'm just trying to check everything. I'm about to just trying to get off and figure this out.
All right, so let me figure this out and see what's going on here. All right, so got the bike in neutral.
So I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I got the bike in neutral and it finally cranked up. And so this is me. This is where the Riders Academy took place here in this big parking lot. And so I'm just kind of getting a feel of this bike because I'm about to drive it home. So I'm in Jackson, Tennessee, which is about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes away from Memphis. And so I didn't want to wait a few days for them to ship the bike to me. So this is the wife's bike actually. This is my wife's bike. She passed the course. You know, she's ready to bring this bike home. And we already got approved for this bike. And so I'm just trying to get comfortable on this bike because I've never rode this bike before. And I think this would be a great starter bike for Courtney. It has real low horsepower. Still has a little kick to it, but it's not as much as my Road King. But I think this would be a great starter bike, you know, to get into the Harley Davidson family. That's my truck there. She's about to follow me in that white Ram truck. I'm a little nervous getting on this highway.
Definitely feels different. Feels really weird.
Mind you, this is not the Road King. This is completely different.
The clutch hand feels heavy already. I feel like my hand is wearing out.
Yeah, pretty much the clutch is pretty much heavy on that bike, and it's definitely something else. So yeah, so I'm giving it a good ride, man. It's feeling pretty good. I'm picking up some speed here on these back roads, and it's feeling really nice. Just trying to make sure my mirrors are adjusted. You know, just trying to get the feel of the handling. Like I was saying before, the clutch is a little tough to pull in. It kind of wears your hand out a little bit. That's one thing I noticed getting on the bike that I didn't like is the clutch. And you know, I guess it just takes some time to get used to. And I was saying before, I was a little nervous to kind of get on the bike because there is no windshield. And I knew when I was test riding those Road Kings and those Heritage Classics that some of them didn't have windshields, and I was getting eat up on the highway. So definitely nervous to be riding on this bike without no windshield on the highway for an hour and 20 minutes. So, you know, this is going to be real interesting, but I'm always up for a challenge, man. I just wanted to challenge myself and just see, hey, you know, let me just get the experience and ride an 883 on the highway for an hour and a half from Jackson, Tennessee to Memphis, Tennessee with no windshield, and let's just see how it goes. And it was pretty nippy outside. I think it was around the 50s or 60s. I think it was. So definitely wasn't hot outside.
It's feeling all right. My clutch hand it feels heavy to squeeze, hard to squeeze. So my clutch hand feels a little tight when squeezing the clutch hand. Neutral is definitely easier to find. I don't have no option to go, so I think I'm just gonna wait. I could have went there, but I got somebody following me as well. So to me, it's all about safety. You know what I mean? Trying to see if I can find neutral. There we go. Give this hand a break, because this is hard to squeeze in. If my hand hurt, I know my wife's hand gonna hurt on it. I don't even know if you guys can hear what I'm saying. But I'm stopping. I stopped for the light, didn't want to go through it. First time riding the 883. I got an hour and some change to Memphis. So we're gonna try to play it safe here. You're not gonna hear me talking on the highway. I might try to do a voiceover. I'm not gonna try to stop the recording. I'm just gonna let it record, man. Just try to be safe. So God bless us on this highway. Protect us, help us to be aware, help us to be safe, and bless the other drivers as well that's on the highway. Keep us safe and protect us. In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah, I feel a little nervous riding this motorcycle. It's the first time I've ridden the 883. I'm actually gonna be on the highway with no windshield, so I'm a little nervous about that. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to 60, 65. I definitely probably won't be able to get to 70 miles per hour, but just trying to be safe and get home safely, you know. That's the name of the game today. It is rush hour.
All right, guys, so I'm getting on the highway now. I didn't do too much talking because I really just wanted to focus and, you know, concentrate on checking my blind spots, checking, you know, the other lanes and looking out for other passengers, and just really just trying to look out for potholes and just trying to be extremely as safe as possible. I didn't account that I would be riding into the sun, looking into the sun with no glasses, so that was kind of irritating me a little bit, you know, riding this bike into the sun. I didn't really like how my feet were like forward. They're a little bit more forward than on the Road King. I definitely didn't like my feet forward, and I definitely didn't like the foot pegs. It was on the Road King. It's more of a flat, or, you know, some type of flat, long footboard, a footboard, resting board. On these, it's just like a little peg. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it was just part of my foot felt like it was resting on it instead of like having my whole flat foot on the long flatboard for your footrest. So, I mean, the position is not uncomfortable. It's just those foot pegs. I didn't really like the foot pegs, and honestly, I kind of didn't like the way my feet were up front. You know, coming from a sports bike where your feet are kind of backwards a little bit or behind you, and training on the here I'm trying to tell you guys that I'm going at a certain speed, trying to make sure I can verbally hear myself on the recording that I'm going like 55, 60, and I'm already feeling the wind. But yeah, the foot rest, you know, I kind of got used to it. The bike just felt really small compared to the Road King and the Classic. It just felt super small. It felt like I was on a bicycle riding on the highway. You know what I mean? I felt naked, to be honest with you. Like, I felt so naked on the highway. Like, I don't feel like I have no protection from nothing. You know, I just feel like I'm right there. Like, I feel closer to the pavement than I've ever felt before. Like, I feel like I could touch the pavement, as you can see in the video. But on the bigger bikes like the Road King, it makes me feel like a little bit more protected, a little bit more comfortable. And so that's one thing I appreciate about the Road King versus this Iron 883. This is a 2019. This is a great starter bike. I didn't really like the mirrors. The mirrors were just extremely too small for me. I couldn't see jack. It's hard to kind of see, you know, your blind spots and what's in your rear view, you know, from these little small mirrors, because the mirrors seem like they're like right by my shoulders and arms. And I felt like, you know, I wish they were a little higher or maybe a little lower below the handlebars or higher above my shoulders, tilted down so that way I could at least see. But it seemed like I could only see, I saw most of my shoulders and arms in the rear view mirrors than the cars on the side or behind me, or the road on the side or behind me. So I didn't really like the mirrors on that. So, but my Road King has higher handlebars, and so therefore I'm visually able to see in my rear views or my blind spots. Now this truck just passed me. And so riding on this highway, I was talking about how nibble the bike was, man. It's just so small and light to me, and it felt like all the wind from the trucks and cars, and then just the wind from the highway was blowing me everywhere, bro. Like, I was really trying to, you know, fight the wind. It was hitting your boy, every truck that passed, every semi truck that passed. You know, it just felt like the wind was like kind of trying to push that bike a little bit. And, you know, and every bump in the road on the highway, you felt it. I felt every bump on the road, man. Like, it was crazy. And so I was like, man, this gonna be an interesting ride. You know how you decide, you make a decision and you decide to do something, but while you're doing it, you're like, man, I probably should have just, you know, waited for them to transport this bike home. When I got on this highway, it was like, you know, I'm already in the fight now. I'm already in now, so you might as well just stick with it and just ride it out. And so that's what I'm doing. Luckily, I had a Ruroc helmet on. It's a Star Wars edition. It's an Atlas 4.0. It's a pretty decent helmet, you know what I'm saying? It was helping with that wind. And it's not too loud. I think I may have had like a little slight headache, you know what I'm saying, a little after the end of the ride. But you know, that's also probably because no windshield. But you know, overall it was pretty straight. You know what I'm saying? It's just the sun was beaming in my eyes. Now, one thing I will say is about the comfort of the ride. The seat, man, the seat is absolute, like, I don't even know why the seat feels this way, man. It's horrible. I cannot stand this seat. This seat, even the seat on the Harley Davidson feels like it needs an upgrade, or I would change the seat out, but it's not like bad to where I can't ride on it. This right here is bad to where it's just like, you know, you can't ride on the highway with this seat, this stock seat or whatever this seat is, bro. This seat is just, man, my thighs, my butt, man, it's just like, I feel it's throbbing, you know what I mean? It's just not a good feeling. So towards the end of this bike ride, you know, I kind of stood up, and when I got to the city, I kind of just stood up and just like, man, let me just stand up a little bit, give me some blood circulation back to my thighs and my bottom there. And you know, throughout halfway of the ride, man, I wanted to pull over, you know what I'm saying? Probably about 30-40 minutes into the ride, I wanted to kind of pull over on the side of the road or a rest stop or something and just take a little break and walk around a little bit. But I said, you know, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stay on the bike and I'm gonna keep riding, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And so we just kept riding. I just kept riding. So pretty much, I'm riding this thing into the sunset, man. We about close to maybe 15-20 minutes in to the ride, and still got like a good hour to go till I get to the crib. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, it was a pretty good journey. It just was a lot, man, you know, just to ride this thing all the way to the crib. But I'm glad I got the experience, because I kind of know how the bike feels. I know what the bike is capable of and not capable of. You know, I think this bike is a good city bike. I think it's a good city bike if you want to rip and run to the store, or you want to just kind of ride around town, or you want to hit the highway in your town. You know, maybe hit some back roads. You know, just outside of town in the countryside. I think this is a great bike, man. I think it's a great bike to, you know, do some ripping and running. You know what I'm saying? I see why this is just a nice good bike to rip and run on. If you're a beginner and you want to get into riding, I think this is a great bike to get into. It's an affordable bike, around what, $9,000, $8,000 or $9,000. I think it's a good bike. And then you got to account for interest. If you get a loan, they're gonna tax on, you know, pretty much double on interest, depending on your credit score. You might be paying anywhere from 15-20% interest, depending on your credit score. You might be paying that 3.5 or 3.9 interest rate if you got that good credit score. You might not be paying nothing if you just pay out of pocket in full. But hey, you know what I'm saying? You do what's best for you, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think this is a great bike to start out on. I could have started out on a cheaper bike for my wife. I probably could have just not even gotten her a bike at all, you know, because I don't even know if she's going to be serious riding the bike or she going to do it. She got her motorcycle license, but I don't know, man, you know, it just might be an extra unnecessary expense, you know what I mean? So who knows, man? You only live once, you know what I mean? We all make mistakes, but it is what it is, man. Just do what you got to do for you and just try to be as smart as you can while you do it. But definitely, you know, there's cheaper bikes out there, $500 bikes, $2,000 bikes, $5,000 bikes. If you just got to shop around, see what you can find and what you can tolerate. I only got this bike because I can be a little bougie sometimes, and sometimes I want to stay with certain bikes because if something happens, you know, and I got a Yamaha or a Kawasaki and I'm trying to fix something and I can't fix it, then, you know, I'm not knowledgeable enough on who am I going to take it to? What shop am I going to find? I need to find a bike shop that's going to work on these different type of brand motorcycles versus Harley Davidson. There's a Harley Davidson everywhere. And there's 3 Harley Davidsons that I can take this bike to in my area. So if I ever need something worked on with the bike, it's just, if I don't have the knowledge and the tools to fix it myself, I can go take it and get it fixed. Now, that's just my situation. You know what I mean? I may not have the time to fix it. I may not have the time to work on it and research it. So I'm just going to have to put up that money, take it to the shop and let them get it fixed. So that's just some things to account for when you buying a bike. But this Iron 883, this definitely wouldn't be a bike that I would start on as my first bike, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's a great bike. If you're not trying to do too much, man, you're just trying to relax and chill. You're not trying to take long trips. You're just trying to cruise around town on the outskirts of the city. I think this bike is going to be, a blast to ride, man. When I got into the city and when I was riding to the highway, man, it was kind of fun to ride. I ain't gonna even lie, it was kind of fun to ride. It's like living in one of the foreign countries, man, and you run into the local market or something in town, and you jumping on the bike with your lady and you riding out. I think this is a fun bike. I think it's a real fun bike. It looked like it could rip and run through traffic. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a sports bike, of like a 250cc, Katana, Suzuki Katana, with some forward pegs on it. It doesn't have as much power, which is good for a beginner, but it'll get up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the power's a little bit. There's still a little power there. So, but I think the power is more reasonable and manageable for someone who's just starting out on a bike. The only thing would be the price. It's just finding a good price. This is a 2019. I kind of enjoyed it when I got to the city, but if you're riding this is an hour and a half drive. So if you're riding this bike and you're trying to do it for highway, I think it still can be done. To be honest with you, it still can be done. And the only thing I would change, here's what I would change on this bike. If, I wanted to get this Iron 883, I would change, for one, I would put a windshield. Windshield would be the first thing that I would do, because you're getting eat up on the highway by the way. I would get the biggest I almost slipped. I would get the biggest mother sucker windshield that I could possibly get to put on this bike that it would accept, so I could block all the wind. That's one. Okay. 2, I would probably get the seat. I would change this seat out to something that got more cushion, that's something that's a little wider for the bottom, something that's going allow me some comfort to sit for a long time. I think that's 2 for me. I think those 2 are very important. And I think the third very important thing, along with number 2 with the seat, I'll probably get a backrest for that seat. So that way my back would be supported for those long journeys. And, maybe some saddlebags or something like that to carry along with that seat. But number 3 would be the foot pegs. I would need some flat floor boards, bro, for my feet to rest on. I don't know. I don't care if I wouldn't want my feet out changing gears like that. I don't know if is there a way to kind of bring the gears down a little bit so you can switch them down, and maybe have some engine guards where you can put your feet out if you want to put your feet out and let them stretch out chopper style. I would kind of change, my floorboards, my foot pegs, and kind of put some flat boards on there, and to make that ride a little bit more comfortable. And honorable mention, the next thing that I would do is lift my mirrors. Get some mirrors that's a little taller, or lift my handlebars a little bit, to where, because honestly, I feel like my handlebars, the way my arms are positioned, I don't really like it. I would like to have the handlebars up and maybe back towards me a little bit, because I feel like I'm hunched over and leaning just a tad bit. And I don't like the position the way my arms are kind of slanted down. That's just me. I would want my arms to be in a little bit more comfortable position. So that those would be the things that I would change. Just starting out basic wise. If I'm gonna kind of, do some more advanced changes, oh shoot, bro, I would change the shock systems, bro. I would definitely change the shock systems, because man, you feel every bump in the road, every single bump, every hump, like I'm bouncing on this bike, man. So those bumps, they add extra pressure to your bottom. You feel it on your bottom and the seat. So the mixture of them two is just like hell. You feel me? So I would definitely change the shocks, and I would definitely maybe work on the brakes a little bit, man. I ain't too comfortable with the braking system on this, man. I don't know if I'm like too fond of it. It's a 2019. I thought I did some research, and they said there was some braking issues in the past with the Iron 883s, but shoot, I don't know. Don't make me lie. But the brakes were pretty decent, man. And the thing about it is, if you're a rider and you've been riding different bikes, or riding any bikes at that, you might get on this Iron 883 and be like, I ain't really feeling it. You might be like, well, it's a cool little bike to ride in the city, a hip skip and the jump cockroach here and there, but you might prefer, the older bikes that you used to ride. You might prefer your sports bike over this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know if it was me, I would probably rather have my Suzuki GSX 600 over this Iron 883. I would just rather rip around town in that, versus this right here, And I guess it's because I'm more lean forward, so it's not as much pressure on my bottom. And then when you're more lean forward, you're not really dealing with the wind. But also with sports bikes, what I didn't like riding sports bikes is when you lean forward, it's more pressure on your wrist. And a lot of people say, well, you gotta, push your thighs into the tank, and kind of alleviate that pressure. I mean, I don't care, bro. It still adds pressure to my wrist. And, over time, your wrist start hurting. And I feel like your lower back can start hurting too. But it's definitely a fun to ride sports bikes. But I'm getting older now, I know I'm not that old, 40 years old, but I just want to cruise, man. And my that time of me riding sports bikes is over. I just want to cruise right now. That's all I want to do is cruise. So, yeah, man, that's my take on this Iron 883. It's definitely a pretty cool bike. Definitely would maybe recommend it to some people who are beginners. But I know for me, I'm pretty excited about the Road King that I have. It's a 2004 Road King, pretty much cheaper than this bike. And so it definitely needs some work on it, but it rides straight out the store. And I'm pretty excited about my bike. I'm gonna have to see if I can buy some type of charger or something to keep on this bike, because it's probably not gonna be as ridden as often as my Road King, because this is supposedly supposed to be the wife's bike, and she's still learning. So it's gonna be pretty much whenever we have time to go out and practice for her to kind of get some reps in. So we'll see how that goes, man. But yeah, that truck just rolled by, blowing your boy a little bit off the road. So yeah, we'll see how things go, man. I definitely like the Road King way better. I'm really excited about that purchase, man. I hope you guys seen the previous video of me purchasing the Road King and this bike. And then also I have another video that will be coming out with me riding the Road King, similar to this video. Actually, I have a whole audio system set up, so I won't be doing like a separate voiceover, but you'll actually hear me talking while I'm riding the Road King around Memphis, and you'll kind of get a glimpse of how I feel on that bike. That bike is pretty bad, bro, so I'm loving that Road King. So yeah. But yeah, man, if you guys got like any bikes or something like that, you know, and you ride, or you got any experience, or got any tips, man, leave them in the comments below. It's my goal to hopefully, you know, link up with some buddies, man. I'm trying to find some buddies to ride with, you know, some motivation. You know, when you just riding by yourself, you don't have sometimes you don't have that great motivation to get out and ride. But you know, hopefully I can meet some cool people to where we can link up and we can do some riding, or go to like, you know, some bike weeks, or you know, bike weekend or something, man, or we just go ride and go get something to eat. You feel me? You know, I'm just trying to find the excuse to get on the road and ride, man, to kind of build up those hours of experience on the road, man. So, you know, but I'm gonna keep riding. I've been riding like, you know, probably like once every 2 or 3 weeks. That's not much, but you know, it's gonna start warming up here, and so we're gonna get out there, man, in a minute. Just, you know, continue to ride and take trips. You know, Nashville is right down the street, so I'm gonna take a couple trips to Nashville, Knoxville, you know, Huntsville, Birmingham, you know, Little Rock. You know, just kind of, you know, just take some day trips, you know, and just get out the house or spend a night in the city, and just, you know, get on this bike and put it to some use. I do need to get a rain suit for when I travel. I know I need to get a rain suit. I need to get a warm suit, like to keep you warm, but I probably won't need that until the fall, once the fall hits again. And I got some on the Road King. I had some saddlebags, but the key doesn't lock it, so you know, I can't leave nothing in there and go nowhere because it won't lock. That was just crazy. You know, I got it from the dealership. It came with like 5 keys. Only one key really starts the bike, and then the other keys don't even do anything for real. So I tried turning the keys and all that kind of stuff. It don't even work, man. So I'm gonna have to get some new saddlebags to put on this bike, and have some new keys with a locking system so I can lock items in this bike. So I mean, it sucks, but you know, I guess that's why they say you buy the bike as is. I wish the keys would have worked to the damn bike, but hey, it is what it is, man. Anyway, so you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, this video is still got a long way to go. I'm probably gonna just speed ramp this video until I get to the city, and then show you guys how this bike looks riding at nighttime. So let's get it. yeah, man. So made it back to Memphis, man. Back on Germantown Highway, and traffic is pretty much a mess. So just kind of stuck in traffic, but low key, I felt like I wanted to stay on the highway and take the highway all the way home. But man, I was just like, maybe if I just go through the city, I would, kind of get stuck in traffic and stuck at lights where I can kind of stand up a little bit in between, stoplights and, traffic stops to kind of give my butt a little rest and my legs a little rest. So that was the whole reason why I decided to go this route and go and get stuck in traffic versus staying on the highway all the way home. But as you can see, man, it looks pretty cool here riding at night. Got some cool little views, man. The bike, little LEDs light up. And as you can see, there's a red light that's coming on the screen. I have no clue what that red light is for, bro. So I don't know what in the world is going on. So these are like little things that I was seeing while I was riding. So I don't know if it's oil. I don't know if it's got something to do with the engine. I don't know if it's because of the bike is just starting to get too hot. Who knows? But there's a red dot coming on the iron 883. So this is coming straight from a dealership, and I have no clue, man. So you gotta do some research. If you guys know, man, let me know in the comments below what that red dot is, that red light that's lighting up on the LED screen. But I'm gonna have to do some research and kind of figure out what that is, and see what happens, man. Yeah, man, appreciate you guys for watching my videos, subscribing, and actually sticking through these videos, watching them, and kind of chilling with your boy, and let me know in the comments whether it's good or bad what you guys think of the videos. Definitely helps out, keeps me going, keeps me doing something, keeps me busy. This is like my creative outlet to do stuff. I'm posting some of everything. I'm posting whatever I like to post or what I enjoy, and I just feel like over time you guys can kind of let me know what you guys like the most. So I'm gonna kind of end it a little bit. I know I've been here long enough, but this is the 2019 Iron 880 2019 Iron 883. So peace out, guys. Yeah.